Counting of votes has begun in Thailand's general election. Pro-democracy opposition parties are tipped to defeat the military-backed government of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-O-Cha, who first came to power in a 2014 coup. The ballot boxes closed at 5 p.m. local time, with early voting trends expected in the evening. Complete results are expected later today. The Thai elections use paper ballots that are counted publicly at polling stations. Opinion surveys pointed to a resounding defeat for the ex-army chief Prayut Chan-O-Cha, who is contesting under the banner of a new party called United Thai Nation. These elections are a litmus test for Prayut Chan-O-Cha, who enjoys the backing of Thailand's king. While rights groups have accused Prayut Chan-O-Cha of overseeing a major crackdown on basic freedoms, with a huge spike in prosecutions under Thailand's draconian royal defamation laws. Chan-O-Cha faces the main opposition Pro-Thai Party's candidate, Shinawatra. She is the youngest daughter of the former Prime Minister and telecom tycoon Thaksin Shinawatra. The Shinawatra family's bitter tussle with the royalist military establishment has been at the heart of the drama, with Thaksin ousted in 2006 coup and his sister Yingluck unseated by Chan-O-Cha in 2014. While the Move Forward Party has promised to weaken military rule and monarchy, it is seeking support from the millennials and Gen Z voters, who make up nearly half of the eligible voters. It is being led by 42-year-old Peter Limajmurat. He is a businessman and alumni of Harvard University. Millions of Thais cast ballots at 95,000 polling stations. Preliminary results are expected later in the evening, though the final number of seats won by each party will not be officially confirmed for several weeks. A turnout of 90% in last Sunday's early round of voting pointed to an electorate looking for change. The new premier will be chosen jointly by the 500 elected MPs and the 250 Senate members appointed by the junta. In the controversial last election in 2019, Chan-O-Cha rode Senate support to become the Prime Minister at the head of a complex multi-party coalition. It remains to be seen if the 2023 general elections throw up any surprises and Prime Minister Prayut Chan-O-Cha comes to power again. The election is the first since major youth-led pro-democracy protests erupted across Bangkok in 2020, with demands to curb the power and spending of Thailand's king, breaching a long-held taboo on questioning the monarchy. Joining us now to talk about the ongoing polls, we have with us Dr. Titinan Pongsudurak, a professor of political science and international relations at the Chulalongkorn University. Thank you for being with us. Now, this really seems to be an election between status quo and change, with a young generation yearning for change and the traditionalist royalist establishment. Would you agree?
Yes, today is a big vote, big referendum on Thailand's future, also Thailand's past, whether Thai voters want to maintain a kind of a conservative past or make some changes into a kind of a more progressive future. I think the polls so far have indicated that the leading two parties, Pro-Thai and Move Forward, are from the opposition. So the government parties are the pro-military, Palang Pracharat Party, United Thai Nation Party. So these are the parties that came to power after the coup in 2014 and also a coup inspired in Constitution in 2017 with the 2019 election. So, after 9 years of military-backed government, I think Thai voters are saying enough. They want to chart a different path, a different future for Thailand. So this is a vote to, I think, to favor, to call for a new kind of future, a more progressive future.
Right. Now, Prime Minister Chan-O-Cha has the support of the Senate, so the opposition will really need a landslide victory in the lower house. How likely is this?
The Constitution of 2017 was written by a military appointed committee, so it's a rigged constitution. It basically gives the military 1/3 of the bicameral legislature, which means that the senators, 250 senators, can vote for the prime minister, even though the senators were appointed by the military. So that's unfair. And I think this means that the opposition parties, Pheu Thai Move Forward, will have to come up with 376 out of 500 in the lower house. That's a very high number in order to have an outright majority. That's unlikely. But they together most likely will come up more than 250 of the lower house, which means a simple majority. Not enough to vote for the prime minister, but enough to control the lower house. So it's a conundrum in Thailand unless we have some kind of a deal that involves a coalition government that can break up the Senate vote or win over some of the Senate vote, could have a deadlock. It depends on the final numbers, of course, but you should know that, the rules are not fair. And therefore, the opposition parties that are doing very well now with a lot of momentum for Move Forward, they are not going to have enough numbers because the rules are so stacked against them. And for them, the rules are on the side of the military.
Right. And Doctor, what are some of the most pressing issues that were in focus in the run-up to these polls?
A lot of issues have to do with welfare state, with subsidies, handouts, a lot of, the bread and butter issues. I mean, the people's welfare, income, minimum wage, retirement pension, and so on. So these are the policies that have been around for 2 decades. Since Thaksin Shinawatra came to power in 2001 on a spectacular popularity of populism, catering to the poor, trying to address the urban-rural divide, the rich-poor disparity. And so all parties now are populist. They want to give handouts, scholarships, income subsidies, higher wages, free education, good healthcare, universal healthcare, and so on. There's no dispute now that the populism over the past 2 decades is clear. It has won. But now there are new issues now that make this election different than ones in the past, different than other elections that we've seen in Thailand. This, for the first time, the Move Forward Party is proposing reforms and changes to the monarchy. Institutional reforms of the military and the monarchy. On the military, they want to get rid of the conscription, the draft. We have the draft, an outdated law from 1954 during the Cold War. So young Thai males still have to go through the draft process, conscription. And then they want to also change the royal defamation law, Move Forward. This has not been introduced on the agenda during elections before, so it's something new here.
Absolutely. Dr. Thitinan, thank you very much for being with us and your valued insights on all the latest on the Thai elections.
Thank you.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.